This is Ran Man. I'm back. Hit that cash app, $Ran 8239. Let's get it. This topic is when I lived overseas in Colombia for what it was, almost 4 months at one time. Now, they used to always talking about like how dangerous Colombia is and stuff. Yes, of course, it's dangerous, you know what I'm saying? But it's dangerous cities all around the world. Any big city you go to and stay or just visit gonna be dangerous because so many people live there. The population, you know what I'm saying? Then the cost of living and everything like that. Because when you in a big city, you're gonna have parts of the areas where the people that has a certain, different amount of money, like the middle class, the class is well off, um, and the poor people. You're gonna have all those different kind of classes in every big city you go. So that's why crime gonna be in any big city. Now you can be safe in like any big city if you stick, keep your head on the swivel. Basically, if you keep your head on the swivel, you don't participate in activity that draws that attention. That's the thing too. I know when a lot of people talk about Medellin, Colombia, they always talk about how American tourists get set up and killed. They get that scopamine and they drink and they get set up on them little Tinder dates and stuff like that. You know, Unfortunately, you have to be wise and do your due diligence when you like when a man say if you want to meet up with a chica over there, he need to actually meet up with her first. Don't let her come to your house first. Meet up with her first. Most common, and I would say that one of the safest places would be like a mall or at the park, somewhere like that. The mall and the park. You can't go wrong with those places because they out in public, people around. You know what I'm saying? Then plus the environment too. I would say the best place is a park. Park, you out there in the open, you got the nature around you, you know, that's how most people like to open up at places like that at a park. But the thing about it, at a mall, you got all that talking, jibber jabbing and stuff. I mean, which hey, that's still not a bad place to meet up at, but the park would be the perfect place to meet up at. That's what I used to do all the time. If I meet a different chica in Colombia or something like that, hey, let's meet up at the park. Or if we meet up in the neighborhood and I know the neighborhood very good, I would like to have her to come to me and meet up somewhere in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And we talk, we get to know each other, things like that. And I see her vibe and how she move basically. That's what you have to watch too, the way a woman moves. And also, y'all men, when you invite a woman, well, I would say most likely you invite a woman over to your place instead of going to her place. Well, first, the first get together, I would say, when that happens, she need to be coming to your place, especially you going over there and they culture, the language different, the culture different. It ain't like the United States. No way. But let me get back. Me living over there in Colombia for almost 4 months at one time. Because actually, last year, if you want to combine up all the months I stayed over there in Colombia, it's at least almost about 7 months. So that's over about half the year. You know what I'm saying? Because when I went back, I came back to the States. Remember, I left in, I want to say, okay, yeah, I left in April to Colombia last year in 2022. April, May, June, then most of the part of July. I came back in July to the United States. And I actually went and back to Colombia in what was it, yeah, September. I went back to Colombia in September, and I stayed there over a month. Then I ended up going back to Colombia at the end of the year in 2022 as well. But actually, I did go to Colombia back early in 2022, like in what was January. But I ain't stay that long that time when I went to Colombia. But yeah, but just living over there give you a different perspective on life. Meeting with the locals, actually getting engulfed in the culture. That's the thing I really liked about the Colombian culture. I would say Colombian culture, Ecuadorian culture. When I go to Quito, Ecuador, and I meet the locals and hang out with the locals. I mean, like I say, lots of the locals, they very, very humble when they have enough to make ends meet and enough for their family and all that type of stuff. They very humble. Um, but I got acquainted with the neighbors and stuff. I lived in Medellin with my chica back last year. I remember I used to go outside. I remember I had a neighbor, you know, he knew I was from the United States, so he'll be trying to talk English. He'd be like, "Good morning." Like, Buenos dias. Or I say Buenos dias, I speak to him in Espanol. And I remember the little corner store that was right there above the apartment. Well, walking distance from the apartment, it was only like 2 minute walk right up the road. I used to go there, and me and my chick used to go there sometime too. Get our food. Like instead of going to like uh Exito or what's the other one? Jumbo, like the grocery store, they will have that in Medellin. And another one is I think it's Mark Marcodo or something something like that. That store, they don't have too many in Medellin of that store. They have a lot of Exito. They got Exitos everywhere in Medellin. Um, I know somebody told me they got a Tia's in Medellin somewhere. I know they got Tia's in like Cartagena, like a lot of cities on the coast. They got a Tia's in Barranquilla, Cartagena, um, Santa Marta. Yeah, Santa Marta. They got Tia's. I remember seeing it when I was there. I mean, like I be forgetting some cities I actually went to when I was in Colombia. Like I'm like, damn, I went to that many cities, and like, cause I'm just remembering Santa Marta, San Andres, um, Barranquilla. Like I said, I only been to Barranquilla one time, and San Andreas one time, Santa Marta one time. Um, see, like I say, I haven't been to Cali. Um, yeah, I have to get out there to Cali. I keep saying it and never doing it. Like, um, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, Pereira. I've been to Pereira once, and Malezales once. Um, in Bucaramanga, I've been there plenty of times. In Bucaramanga. The longest I've stayed in Bucaramanga was what it was mm, about 3 weeks, I think. They stayed there about 3 weeks one time. In Cucuta, I stayed there for. Well, I actually went back twice to Cucuta, and I stayed about a week and a half in Cucuta. Uh, yeah, but yeah, when I was living in Medellin, like I say, the neighbors very friendly. I remember downstairs when I walked downstairs because we stayed on the third floor, and it was a sewing factory right downstairs. I remember walking through there. Seeing all them chicas that worked up in there. Ooh, they looked good. Oh, I remember this one Afro Colombiana. Ooh, she was fine as hell. She had the natural curly hair, long, beautiful. Oh, I remember when she turned hair, I would like wave at her, like, she'll smile and like wave back. Oh, and like I would never get to meet her when she leave. I won't know what time it ever closed or whatnot. But I was like, if I ever run into her when she get off work or when she out of the factory, I'ma holler at her. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Another thing too, yeah, we had a good time there. Like me and my chica, she would cook, like I say, cook for me every day, religiously. Like it would be some days where I would say, you ain't gotta cook. We got all this food left over. I just eat the leftover food. So you ain't gotta cook, sweetheart. I'd be like that. But uh yeah, we went a lot of places together, like especially around Medellin, lots of places together. Walked a lot of places. Yeah, like I say, getting acquainted with the culture, with the locals. Like, cause they all were like, oh, okay. They think I was just living there permanently. That's what they was thinking, like around there. Cause the neighbors seen me just walking around, either by myself or with my chica. They would always speak. And for the ones that knew English, they would speak to me in some English they know. I try to speak my Espanol that I learned from my chica, and from what I learned from myself. As much as possible. That helps too. If you don't know Espanol and you going down there to Colombia or South America or Latin America, um, when you're around the locals, and they speak you know, they native tongue, you start catching on to the words they say in Espanol, because I would do that all the time. I listen to somebody's conversation and be like, dang, I'm picking up on that word. Let me keep repeating it so I get it down pat. So yeah. And another thing about Colombia too, like I say, they kind of got the old school type vibe. Say for instance how we was in like the late 80s and the early 90s. Like as far as your neighbors playing loud music. Now I know back in the days, when we play loud music in the house and stuff like that. Sometimes, it depends on what area you in. You need to have a neighbor come by and say, "Hey, turn down that music, turn down." But in Colombia, well, especially Medellin, like you can play your music as loud as you want. Nobody say nothing. They don't come knock on your door or nothing. I remember we used to have some neighbors back like on say like a Saturday, like on a weekend or something. They had that music bumping. Loud as hell. Like we could hear it in our apartment. I'm like, damn. Nobody only tell them to turn it down either. They used to play some good reggaeton and salsa music. Yeah. Oh, that was cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed myself living there. I did not want to leave. The day I had to come back, I started to like book, book an extension to stay longer. I was honestly trying to do that. Like, well, honestly thought about doing it. I mean, but man, I did not want to come back to the United States. I was like, dang. But yeah, I've been on here long enough ranting about when I was living in Colombia. Like I say, Medellin, the main city I lived in. Um, but yeah, like I say, if I would live back in Colombia, now my eyes will either be on, like I say, Bogota, Bucaramanga, Cucuta. It depends on what. More so in Medellin. Now, I would say in like some of the suburbs, maybe like Sabanata or Italy, like something like that. I mean, I wouldn't mind living back in the Santa Fe barrio. That's cool. I would stay back there. But other than that, in Medellin, mhm, no. I definitely wouldn't stay in El Poblado. No, I don't want to be around a whole bunch of American people. I just don't want to do it, man. It's a nice area. Don't get me wrong, beautiful, and Loretta's too. A lot of American tourists. Like, oh, I want to be around the local people. But yeah, this is Rent Man. Y'all have a good day. I'm out. Peace out.